like ability to create action coming out. They don't want those dives that we saw in Game 3 coming out and haunting them. And this is a very expected pick coming out from TS. Just go towards the HEcarim, and now that Tristana is open, this is JackeyLove's most played champion this split. Gives you the scaling option, gives you the strong, dynamic, early game all-in that you want to look for.
And has been banned away countless times already in the series, so different AD carries coming through here. Very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Going over to JackeyLove, you already said one of his most played, but it feels like gives him a lot of options. Lyric on the other side, though. Bottom lane usually picked here, and wow, we get the double, and we've got a Seraphine locked in immediately too.
And I think this is another champion that I honestly find a bit sleeper OP. I'm surprised we don't see it here more in the LPL. Angel has been the only player to pick this one up and go towards it consistently. Does pretty well in like the first like two levels of laning, and then it just gets pushed in. But hey, that's not your job. You're just there to enable your teammates, and you have so much zone control in front of you. You do so well against compositions that just want to run at you.
And this is something, again, we talked about, you know, Angel's picked up the Zillion, he's picked up the Seraphine before. A lot of buffing ability, and he's kind of like the brick wall. Not in terms of what Seraphine is, right? But just that stability on the team. So, something that's suiting done many times before. But on the other side, hey, Top Esports have done this many times before in many different positions with the Gragas.
That's the thing, right? This right now could be a triple flex for people, you know, not wondering. Knight has played mid lane Gragas this split, so I never want to put it past Knight to bring a champion into the mid lane. Could go into the support role and try to counteract that Rell with her crash down, you know, use the body slam. Could also be a blind pick for the side of 369. I think this gives you a ton of power, just in draft in general, right? Being able to have this flex pick available.
Let's start talking about these bans. So Nocturne, Quinn already there, signaling that maybe Top Esports go for something like the blind Renekton if it doesn't get put in the top lane, but instead it's banned by Top Esports. So again, limiting topside options with the chase as well.
I think for TS, you could even look towards something like a Sylas yourself, be able to take away that Seraphine ultimate and have similar impact to her. It's going to do fine in the laning phase. And champions like Seraphine and Nico, in my mind, it's like Sylas does better with their ultimates than they do because you have the ability to gap close and, you know, extend that range or get it on the targets that you so choose.
And it's also something that for Knight in the past has been really big for a pick for him. On the other side, let's round out Suning's comp though, because already very different picks. And do we get a front line? Not really. We get Bin on the Aatrox to take up into that top lane to whatever's coming. While on
I actually like this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have something like a Seraphine, having bruiser champions that have built-in sustain, it just feels like it empowers them to go in, be that sustain tank, kind of take hits and, you know, exit the fight, come back in, heal up, and it should be a very easy time for them. So they're hovering the Olaf now. I think that is the expected pick as well as they lock it in. Again, another champion with a ton of built-in sustain. They do great running into Top Esports comp. They also feel completely fine with TS coming into them.
Long skirmishes as well, right? Something we can also talk about here for Suning. As we round out their composition on the other side of Top Esports, I'm just really curious where everything's going. Again, the Gragas, big flex for this team, and it will be going up into the top lane. Aatrox with Top Esports locking in Zhuo's Alistar with the Tristana, so a very strong 2v2.
Exactly. So going towards that soft counter of being able to stop the Rell engage with your pulverize. So I like this pick coming out. It was most played champion this split, 70% win rate in 10 games so far. And we're going to see a lot of brawly teamfights coming out of this one, right? Top Esports especially, they want to get on top of Suning. They're going to be the ones trying to force action. They're going to be the ones trying to go in. Suning, on the other hand, they're fine with that. You have this big meaty front line. You have the re-engage ability from the Kaisa. You have the Seraphine ultimate able to stop Top Esports in their tracks as well.
So, going into this game 4, drafts are different. The feeling remains the same though, doesn't it? This series been a real hootenanny. I don't know, I've never been to a barn. I've never been to a barn dance. But whatever happens inside there, I assume, is very much like this series. You go in for a hoedown and you stay for the party, and this has definitely been one hell of a hootenanny / party. I don't know, I'm really out of my depth here as an Australian. I know sausages and Bunnings and Woolies. Everything else is far out, so we're about to get into this one, folks. Top Esports versus Suning. Match point here for Top Esports as well. The chance to get into the top 4, get a lifeline, and face off against EDG. Suning backs against the wall to see if they can take this to a Game 5. Then, hopefully, we call up Mark Z and get the B woo woo. With that, we leave you to the Gyos. Well, again, we said it before, the crowd is out in force for this game. Number 4 has been packed since we started. And yeah, we got a Seraphine on the Rift. Very cute side on Suning, but also importantly, for the side of top esports, the Gragas up in the top lane with Phase Rush, and Karsa's taken Ignite into the jungle once again.
Yeah, so signaling, right, he wants to be more aggressive. He wants to look for some of these invades and these duels. Having a combat summoner in a 2v2 as well is going to be really strong, especially when you have Bin, who's going to win in the top side. You have Angel's going to be able to get early prio mid. I'm wondering where Karsa's going to want to look for that play. I think you have very easy setup in both lanes, though, right? The Abscond Duck coming out from Knight, setting up for Karsa, a Body Slam coming out for 369, and then bot lane's going to be full of action as well, but when we look at these compositions, Hysterics, I think it's going to be all about the 5v5, right? We're going to wait for these dragons. It's going to come down to, you know, who can out-mechanic who. I think top esports have ways to get on top of Huanfeng and Angel that are very easy to see, but also some repositioning and zoning tools there for Suning to try to counteract that.
And I think longer fights, if I'm correct saying, right, Lyric, because top esports have a lot of burst there, right? They get on a target, they shred them down, as it's starting a little bit early. JackeyLove going to get the second skin stacks, but on walking a bit too far forward to get a trade, will get hit back pretty hard. But JackeyLove takes the brunt of that one, waiting for Zhuo to get the passive healing and get impact off.
And it's pretty surprising, right? Because Alistar's not really a champion at level 1. I even think Kaisa has a bit better trading patterns than the Tristana. They hit 2 first.
But Zhuo messes up the combination. JackeyLove uses a rocket jump, and they're going to get 2 in the response. Zhuo could be in a bit of trouble. He flashes away. There's the crash down. One more hit. Huanfeng flashes forward, and first blood is over to Suning while JackeyLove wants to 1v2. When in the rocket jump as he flashes forward, the charge there. Will he survive? He won't, but it is still a double for Huanfeng.
And this is what you would expect coming out from the side of TS, at least with this level of aggression. You highlighted it, though. Zhuo flopped the initial engage. They hit 2 first. That should have been their fight to win. They're forced out. Luckily, though, Huanfeng and On both tanked some turret shots, so JackeyLove is able to find a kill in response, but he went down as well. We're going to go into the replay. Here it is. They do get that 2 power spike. Zhuo just completely flopping the headbutt pulverized combo, pushing him away. JackeyLove's rocket jump nullified, and now Suning are just able to run them down. Zhuo is able to flash away. On does have to flash out, as well as Huanfeng flashing in. And this is where, you know, JackeyLove could just back off and accept his fate. Maybe wait for the wave to crash in and Zhuo to come back to lane. But that's not who JackeyLove is. And also the wave was pushing into him.
True.
So you look at the CS score. JackeyLove actually came out ahead in terms of CS because he's able to get back to lane and pick up that massive wave.
10 CS for now. There is the extra kill, though, which means the pickaxe. So I'm a little bit worried here, Lyric, because Huanfeng will have a damage advantage on the Halo Blades Kaisa. But we'll watch that lane a little bit closer, because you're right. Look at where JackeyLove is now, pushing in a massive wave.
Look at Karsa
too. And there's a teleport in. You called it, Lyric. Knight's coming in red hot, and they don't care about the response TP. Karsa behind enemy lines. There's a 5th teleport. 5 bot for top esports. They're doubling down, and it's the AoE that comes in clutch. Huanfeng is shut down over the night, and On now has to run back to his turret. Bin is at half health from the wave, and top esports want to keep walking past the turret, but there's the interrupt from Bin. He flashes back, maybe saving a life or 2, but On still knows he's dead, and the kill going over to JackeyLove as 369 still wants to go forward as well. Top esports feeling the high from game 3.
You know, to where any other team and maybe a lot of coaches out there would say, hey, you forced out a TP, you know, just back off. You can't contest this. I love how top esports brain works. They see SofM pushing in mid-wave. He's not heading down. They're like, let's just double down. Let's send 5 members down for this dive. They do it. They get a couple kills. And now they're back in the driver's seat, right? Not only does JackeyLove have 2 kills, he has the CS advantage as well. Knight's even in terms of CS. 369 is doing fine in that lane. Bin TP down, so he wasn't able to find an advantage, and Bin also burned a flash, so Summoner advantage for the side of top esports, gold advantage for the side of top esports, and CS lead in the bottom lane.
After it all went wrong with the earlier engage, JackeyLove is now gigantic, even though Tristana is a very small person. And look, SofM was farming during the time, so of course, naturally, he's level 5, he's got 42 CS, but you're right. Top esports now assume control of Summoner's Rift, even though it's only a 200 gold lead, but Bin, 369, both joined the party in the bottom lane. Bin has a big wave building up top here, Lyrics, so holding a bit more control than the Gragas for now.
Yeah, they can try to set up a dive if they want. Gragas isn't level 6 yet. He's going to have, you know, a level advantage, but kind of surprised SofM just going to go for the recall here, because I feel like what you're really playing for in this early game at this point is the advantage that Bin has, not only in the 1v1, but the advantage he'll also have later on in side lanes, right? Trying to have him roam down, get numbers advantages, find those abilities to win team fights. But SofM so far just looking for his own advantage. He is, you know, also massively ahead at Karsa at this point in time.
But doesn't it just tell you about the junglers, right? Where Karsa this whole series has always been behind in CS, and he's been called a pretty selfless jungler, right? He always gets called to his lane. He always plays for the team. SofM plays for himself, man. Suning should follow his lead. So it definitely fits with the storylines we set out.
I feel like it's very interesting as well, right? Because I feel like that also impacts the perception of Karsa, to where you either have people who think, you know, he's a god, he's one of the GOATs, you know, look at his resume, or you have some people who think Karsa's heavily overrated, like his clear is so inefficient, how's he making this decision? But again, it's the way top esports plays. It doesn't look like Karsa's going to change that anytime soon. And, you know, if top esports are able to win their series, oh god, 369.
Yeah, the explosive cast was good. There was a minion wave, but not quite to the turret. Bit of damage goes down and no healing from Bin, so he might just have to back away. 369 at a good health state as well, so he'll just be able to push out the wave.
And now we're going to see Karsa pathing up towards the top side. Still, Suning do know now, and now the wave is actually coming into Bin, so I don't think they should be able to find any gank opportunities.
369 heals up. He's like, I don't care, I'm going in anyway. Yeah, when you drink, you do feel a bit confident, don't you, Lyric? You know, you want to go in anyway, even though it might not be the right decision. But 369 heals up.
It is called liquid courage for a reason, my friend. But Bin was still smart. He backed off because, again, they did see Karsa pathing through the mid lane. And now Suning want to be the ones to punish. We already highlighted how the wave was pushing in. 369 does have flash, but I think he might just be done for.
Yeah, Ragnarok, he's stuck on him. Flash burnt as well. SofM with the response. And that's one for Suning up in the top lane.
So Suning at least realizing where their advantage is and where they need to start breaking the map open and pushing the cogs of the game forward. I want to see Suning try to turn this into some kind of advantage. They could look to just go for Herald right now, but actually Angel's going to just go for the reset.
Karsa's going straight to it.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit confused as well. I'm looking at the minimap. We're like, okay, you know, Suning maybe could have looked for a Rift Herald kind of play. You know, they'd push in top. 369's not going to be there in a while.
Oh.
It's like,
oh no. Big mistake in the bottom lane on Ferromancy crashed down, but he didn't get JackeyLove, so JackeyLove and Zhuo just destroyed him.
Hysterics every 30 seconds. There's no reason to even go into points about this game, Hysterics, because we know that top esports will force something.
True. And I mean, technically it was on forcing that play, but you're exactly right. And hey, now JackeyLove gets a full minion wave into the turret. He's going to explode it as well. Another bit of turret plating for this Tristana, who is 20 CS ahead, who will have the Mythic on this back as well.
Yep, but still Suning answering on the top side once again. They did get the wave pushed into tower, so once again, 369 is in a spot where he's able to be punished. This time, though, he doesn't have a flash available.
Explosive cask there, though. Good disengage tool as SofM. Ragnarok is just about available. Karsa's starting up the Herald. Now, there's no warding up here from top esports, but pings are going down everywhere. Karsa's like, I'll just keep going.
You know, the thing that is actually extremely lucky for the side of for TS is that 369 started to walk down and spot out SofM, or SofM could have found the pick.
He's got phase rush, so he just runs past everyone. Suning aren't aware that Zhuo is over the wall. Now he's in a good engage angle as Angel explosive cast sends them all against the wall. The encore, you just got sung at as Karsa flies through. He will die in the end to the ignite. Has been kites it back. Knight now to clean this up as he flashes on in. The abscond into the abduct, waiting for SofM, but On's here as well. Suning might have this fight. There's the attractor repel, but Knight heals up with the Kingslayer. Wants to get towards his turret, but Angel won't let him. And Suning really turned the tables.
And we saw that top esports just didn't have the initial burst to take anyone down, right? We saw Karsa get into the backline. Doesn't exactly have the damage yet. This isn't last game. Knight getting onto someone in the front line. I think it was Bin. Seraphine's there. They have the sustain. Ragnarok and the Aatrox ultimate both used. And, you know, the war of attrition was won by the side of Suning.
It was. JackeyLove was farming in the meantime, but Angel stopped that from becoming a first turret blood, however close it was. He'll clear the wave. JackeyLove one plate away, or just about 1.5. He was close to clearing that other one as well. But Lyric, we look at the gold lead, and things are pretty much even. 5 apiece. Top esports with 300 in their back pocket. And now Angel has a bounty on his head. So supportive items going to be coming much quicker than they were before. And I should also note that we're not even really within a standard lane anymore. Look at assignments.
Yeah, right now, they're just allocating this as it is right now in the reaction to the last play to where Angel had the TP down to catch bot wave that JackeyLove was pushing in. So they sent everyone to, you know, the nearest lanes on the side of Suning to just pick up farm and make sure they're not losing out on any gold or EXP. I think the massive thing to highlight, though, is the fact that JackeyLove already has Kraken Slayer.
Yeah.
So he's feeling big right now. Any skirmishes around him are going to feel quite good. I like that you highlighted Angel on the opposite side because, as you pointed out earlier, right, those longer, more sustained fights are where Suning are going to thrive, propping up members like SofM and Bin.
Especially when, you know, people like Bin as well in a decent position might not have the kill, but getting towards his first item, he went for a cull in this lane, and he's 17 CS up currently. Let's just make it 20 over 369, pushing the wave in, while on the other side, you know, Suning are like, well, Huanfeng and On haven't been in a great position. They're the ones absorbing the pressure. As Karsa's just going in. Lyric, Angel's gone golden, but Knight picks him up at the perfect time. But is there enough damage? Again, Angel survives and just turns it around. There's so much healing on this champion.
And they just don't have the burst yet, right? You look Lost
True.
Chapter blasting on now on Knight. Only a Balmy Cinder on the side of Karsa. He's right under his tower. They just aren't able to take him down. And you have now chain-fed Knight to where he already has his Moonstone Renewer.
Yeah, that's a big item pickup for the composition that we already outlined. And Knight going down again. I mean, he's still not towards his mythic. And at this point in the game, Suning kind of claw back some of the gold. Still even, of course, but we just keep going back and forth. We just keep fighting. Let's call this game shenanigans.
Yeah, and we see them going for this pick. The ultimate does come out, but again, no real damage there. Knight gets the full combo off, but they're not able to chunk him in time. SofM's here, goes for the counter gank. They find the pick.
We come back to live. What are we looking towards next, Lyric? There's a dragon up. Herald's not there. Lanes are getting back to a bit of normality with Knight back in the mid lane versus Angel. Pings are getting spam bot, sir. So I don't know what's happening down here.
I think for the side of Suning, they're making the right call. They now have pressure in mid. I don't think Angel's under any threat coming from Knight in the near future. Your top lane is TP. Your top lane is ahead of the enemy as well. We've highlighted how Suning feel completely fine in these 5v5s. And even now, Huanfeng has the Kraken Slayer as well. So if any skirmish over Dragon comes out, I would favor Suning at this point in time.
But the Herald might impact some of the play if it gets the charge here. Angel and SofM just walking up to it. Karsa with a level down against SofM. It's brutal combat at a melee range. Walks up to Knight, but yeah, thank you for the turret plating. Does go over to Karsa in the end, but doesn't take the turret down. Suning moving back out, and it's river control once again.
Ooh, SofM kind of living on a knife's edge right now.
Maybe Knight is, though. Abscond away. Undertow connects. Ragnarok died. Kingslayer heals up. He flashes away, but SofM needs one more turret shot. The Onslaught of Shadows not far enough. Karsa goes in. The Encore. Zhuo sends On away. Karsa needs one more hit. The Shattering Strike doesn't finish him off. Knight's here for a bit of backup as Zhuo actually flashes out. This time dies to the Rell. And Suning living a bit of this chaos as JackeyLove's gone too far forward. Bids in with the TP. The top esports ADC needs help, so he brings in the teleport. The Buster shot away. And 369's a good mate.
How do we have a game where AD carries are solo split pushing? I think 369 and JackeyLove.
The boys are here. The boys are here, but JackeyLove's big. What? He flashes in? He what?
369 at least gets away, but
why? Well, that's called feeling yourself, isn't it, Lyric? That's definitely called
maybe a bit too hyphy after last game. We're going to look ahead. Still no objective coming out on the bottom half of the map because certain members of Suning did get low. We also did see, mana pools down on both sides. One thing I want to highlight as well, I thought it'd be a great purchase and glad to see that Angel recognizes he's going to go to that Chemtech Putrefier second. You have so much healing and sustain on the opposite side. You're going to be healing your allies, giving them grievous wounds. You're really going to be hurting Knight, Karsa, and 369.
Man, this series has broken me. This series has broken me. This is our playoffs. This is meant to be... We're meant to be left with our top 5 teams, top 6 teams as Zhuo caught out as well. Good dodge away from the crash down with the headbutt. JackeyLove there for moral support as well. Note that Suning still up in gold here. Dragon has not been touched. We're 15 minutes into a game, Lyric, 16 now, where the first Dragon still hasn't been taken.
Yeah, still, this should be Suning's because now we're going to see Top Esports start to evolve into a 3-lane setup, right? Playing out the 1-3-1. They should be looking for picks around Knight or Knight to use his pressure, steal some jungle camps, try to set SofM behind as well. To for Suning, it's going to be all about 2 lanes. You don't really want to have your Seraphine in a neutral side wave. She's just going to go and catch waves when they're nearby her inner turret. It's going to be all about playing through Bin's pressure and rotating between those 2 lanes. 2 pressure as a 5-man unit with numbers advantage.
While Dragon goes down, does trade away for the top lane turret though. You talk about using the numbers advantage. I like that especially since, so far that's kind of been... It feels like gameplay for both these teams if we look realistically at what's happened. Suning right now, grouping around the mid lane. You can see Angel in the side absorbing experience. Bin was down the bottom actually backing, looking towards his first mythic, which is a bit late of a pickup, but will be going towards the Gore Drinker. Also Gore Drinker for SofM here on the Olaf instead of something like a Stride Breaker.
I'd say pretty expected items coming out on both sides so far. Suning are going to be the team to convert this into a Rift Herald, though.
So, Herald picked up. Lyric, where do you want to see it? With 17 minutes in the game, what do you do with a Herald this late in?
I expect for Suning, because of the way they're playing their comp, again, that 2-lane setup, they'll probably look for a play on mid, right? You're going to have Bin push out the bottom lane and then rotate towards mid, drop it as a 5-man core and force that one down.
Okay, open up the mid lane. The classic LPL Rift Herald here. And SofM farming with it for now. And while things have quietened down with the 13-kill game, I still expect it to build up a little bit as we get towards the next Dragon, the 3rd Dragon as well, with some of these turrets down. Top Esports so far, the only team to pull out turrets in this game. Well, they've been a little bit cheeky. Bin's come over the wall, bit of a surprise. Level 12 versus level 10 on the HEcarim. Karsa backs away while JackeyLove uses that pressure. That explosive cast, nice to disengage, just in case Suning were getting too close.
That's the thing, right? Because we talked about how Suning, they want to do this. They want that numbers advantage. They realize, hey, they see Knights pushing in a side lane. Top Esports are playing that 3-lane setup. They look for this. 369 realizes it, throws out the explosive cask, denies any potential play available. And I'm just surprised how close this game still is, right? Small gold advantage. JackeyLove, though.
Well, I thought it slowed down. You said it's close. Maybe it blows up. Knight comes in for the flank. The re-engage onto SofM. He flashes away, but Knight follows up as well. He's into Bin, though. The World Ender stole it away as he goes golden, and everyone tops on top of him. But the Magnet Storm, a perfect ruse. Knight knocked up yet again, and now he goes down as JackeyLove there with a bit of following up damage. 369 looking for his escape. And Top Esports, it started out as a great play, but you went way too damn far.
You know why I didn't expect that play to happen, Hysterics? Because none of Suning's members had showed on side waves yet, so Top Esports can assume they're all still around mid, and Karsa was pathing into his blue side jungle. So Karsa was nowhere near that play, and it just seems like TS thought, hey, we found an opening, we're going to go for these picks. I guess initially it was right, because after these picks, it does look like they have the ability to back off. They get the first, they get the Olaf. Okay, the flash is where it gets too far, right?
The flash is a bit far,
But look at Karsa on the minimap. I don't think Karsa even expected this play to happen. It seems like Top Esports just noticed what they thought was a mistake coming out from Huanfeng. And like you said, they just overcommit.
And that's a big punish. I mean, Suning were like, okay, we'll take it. That's 2 for the price of 1. And Lyric, we're just at a point where, we stand amazed at what we've seen in front of us in this series. We keep talking about it because honestly, we keep getting new plays like this. So Top Esports overextending. They'll get punished hard here. Herald's going to push down the mid lane turret. Like you said, this is going to open up the map massively for Suning here in game number 4. They're one step away from taking us to a game 5, but it's still even. But you're talking about the TP, maybe not. Knight comes into the Raptors, and you know what? There he is.
Oh. Well,
is he dead,
he might be gone. He might be gone, Hysterics.
Uses the Ragnarok, though. Backs away. Karsa goes into the backline, though. Gets the engage, the fear. The knockup on is now off yet again as 369 comes on in. Onto Bin, who's doing a lot of work. He takes one with him, but will die in the process as JackeyLove is going forward. Suning had a chance at a game number 5, but Top Esports are making it way too damn close to call as Huanfeng goes into the backline. JackeyLove versus HEcarim, and Huanfeng assassinates to keep them going.
And it's a 3-for-3 overall. I'm honestly so shocked that Suning are able to pull off that one because Huanfeng wasn't able to free hit that whole fight. Still, though, great assassination coming out from him. We saw a beautiful encore come out from Angel. Looks like it hit at least 3 members of the side of TS, but they still blew up on way too quickly, got that numbers advantage, and then we just saw the rocket jump reset. JackeyLove and Knight continue to go forward. And, I mean, the game stays where it's been, right? About a 600 gold lead for the side of TS.
Yeah, it's been like this for a long while. 21 minutes in, 22 kills on the board here, Lyric. JackeyLove has started up the Dragon by himself. It's only Angel and On with Huanfeng behind them. As Carson wants to burn this down. Can they do it quick enough? Smite there. Second Dragon. No biggie here for Suning. They'll back away.
We are going to get an Ocean Soul, so nice to see. I feel like we've gotten a lot of Cloud Souls in playoffs.
True.
Suning, though, going to turn to mid lane. The turret was pretty much theirs, right? They got the Herald charge off. Had been actually rotated, I feel like they would have gotten that one on the last play, but of course, that's where we had the silliness of the Knight TP and all the shenanigans involved with that, but Suning wanted to bait a fight right away. They have ultimates up already, right? Encore's up, Ragnarok's up, Rell able to lock people down as well. What will TS do?
I mean, this suits the game, doesn't it, Lyric? It really does. Baron's going to be pulled off on a bit of vision. I'm not sure if that control would actually spot out, but either way, they had vision. And it wasn't a control ward, excuse me, just a regular ward. The Top Esports, they'll just go back to the wave. Suning back away, wait for it as well. And now we lull for a little bit longer while we watch this last fight.
Yeah, we see that SofM wants to try to punish Knight's engage. I really want to keep my eyes on Huanfeng because, again, it didn't seem like he was able to get that much damage in the fight. Encore comes out. Actually, only hits, looked like 2 members, Karsa and Knight. We see Bin go in, he finds the initial kill, but by the time Huanfeng's able to walk up after the barrel, again, great barrel by 369, he's not really able to take any targets down because Rell's already died, SofM's already died, Bin is already going down as well, but there's that beautiful assassination from Huanfeng that you talked about.
He's 5-3-2. 2 items here with the Lord Dominic's Regard picked up, but note where JackeyLove is after getting all the turret plating and the early kills. JackeyLove a full item ahead, and you and I through this series, we've been talking a lot about Huanfeng, and he was ahead in items game 1, I think game 2 as well. This time around, JackeyLove gets the better end. He has that full Phantom Dancer, and he's in a good position to carry here on the Tristana. We just want to see the execution come through. His execution's really been the name of this series. It's like whoever wins with a big old forehead wins, but it doesn't feel as simple as that.
I just want to say, when we saw Huanfeng the whole item up, that game didn't really work out for him. So maybe not good omens coming in for JackeyLove this time around, but still, to where we highlighted earlier, it seems like Top Esports have just been better team fighters this series. I really like the Seraphine pickup coming from Angel. Again, another very underrated pick in my opinion that just, I'd say, patches so many holes in a lot of these fights with the sustain, with the zone control, with the power that you provide to your team composition.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we talked about it heavily for Angel, but SofM has evolved too far forward. JackeyLove backs away instead of in this time, though. That's a great start, but On into the back himself. Exhausted out is JackeyLove, but he's still putting the damage down onto this Rell, who's been caught out. Karsa into the middle of it, though. Actually knocked down. JackeyLove rocket jumps right into the middle of the fray. Bin still at full health, and that's a problem. One knock up there with the cleanse. The undertow connecting onto Zhuo. He's a bit of a bait himself, but the knockup could have kept the fight going. The Infernal Chains onto Jackie, but he won't get pulled back in. It's 3 versus 2 with an AD carry in a top laner for Top Esports. As Huanfeng.
And the big thing is no one no one's able to get onto Huanfeng Hysterics. Every time it's just being multiple members hitting frontline, and when we're coming to that, that's where we're seeing a lot of that sustain come in big for the side of TS. Bin right now is massive. Huanfeng now sitting on 6 kills, actually tied with JackeyLove in terms of kills and assists. So again, a big amount of gold probably in his pocket when he's waiting for that reset. And we see that Top Esports have a champion like Gragas as well. Not tanky, he's going full AP. He gets bursted out very early on, as we're going to see what happens here. It's actually SofM walking in, gets chunked out pretty early on, but Zhuo in the middle of multiple members to try to bring On into his team does flash out. On's going to go down, but Karsa jumps in, doesn't go on to Huanfeng actually, is going to get burnt down right away, and again, no one just able to get onto this AD carry from Suning. We see big CC combo coming out from both Zhuo and 369, but Bin, massive right now, just keeps running forward. Zhuo trying to buy space and go back in and peel for his AD carry, ends up getting taken down as well.
Ooh, okay. I guess Knight either want to use the ulti or get the extension on the Encore as we come back. 6k damage here for JackeyLove, but you're right, Huanfeng 3.6k himself when Bin is adding a lot of texture to that. The 2.5 item Aatrox, the 3 item Kaisa now with the Renans, with how these fights going. He's going forward. SofM at a flanking angle. Draw knocks him up. Hang on, Suning. Let me catch my breath. It's a 27 kill game in 26 minutes, and Dragon's coming up, so it seems like Suning want to fight over that.
And that's the thing is, Karsa was actually in the top lane, pushing out that wave. Did seem like he was just trying to get more gold to finish an item. Is going to be following up now, but Suning right now have numbers advantage. They also have push in mid, so they will have control over the bottom side river. And this should be a great position for them to get onto the Drake, because if TS want to come out with a win this time, we need to see Knight, probably Karsa as well, find their way onto Suning's AD carry.
And Knight can do that. He's stolen the Magnet Storm from On. And look at where Karsa is, Lyric. He's coming in for the flank, right onto Angel. Bin on the other side, dealing with Knight. Karsa gets out, but the Encore, so beautiful from Angel. And Bin now being a busy, busy boy onto 369. The Magnet Storm from Knight, though, hasn't changed the play. Yes, it has. He's gotten them under his wing while Bin goes down. JackeyLove cleans that one up, and Top Esports execute the fight just like that.
369 explosive cast into the Magnet Storm, completely deleted Huanfeng's Kaisa. It's going to be a team fight win for TS. They're also going to be able to pick up this Dragon. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they don't even want to try and just convert this into a Baron as well when you have 30 seconds on the jungler, 20 seconds on top laner, and JackeyLove is full HP.
Going now, Lyric, but you're right. Knight's not making his way there. Hit to the bottom lane. He has TP, but not for another 10 seconds or so. Let's look again. You talked about 369. Knight came in after the fact.
Yeah, we see Huanfeng walking forward right now, and I want to keep your eyes on 369. Gets the cast, hits Kaisa into the team, lands the body slam as well. There's the Magnet Storm that you were talking about, and that's your win con right there. Delete the enemy AD carry. That's all the source of consistent DPS coming out leads to this Baron, and now Top Esports finally getting a firm control of this game for what seems like the first time.
And with these 33 kills we got in front of us in a 28-minute game, Top Esports have the first firm lead we've had so far in game number 4. There's a 4k gold lead just about, Lyric. Baron in the pocket, but I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to say anything after what we've seen so far this series. But a commanding position now to push in these lanes and see if Top Esports can close the door on this series to run into EDG to secure top 4 and to knock Suning out and say enough is enough in this grudge match that currently stands 1-1.
Exactly right. Both of these teams, I think, you know, it's been an unexpected rivalry that we didn't really think we'd talk about, but they've provided good matchups. JackeyLove, he does it in the GA, but he's going pretty far forward.
Bin half health. That's an aggressive move from JackeyLove. It'll send Bin back as well while Knight's pushing. As, hang on, Rell starts the fight. Do you want this? Maybe not.
JackeyLove got a full item off that last team fight, right? True. He was able to back and just pick up a GA outright, so he's definitely far ahead in terms of gold. CS has caught up, though, from what it was early on.
Ooh, SofM passing! He's dead! JackeyLove goes over the wall. Knight catches him out. Draw for the engage. And again, the explosive cast. Beautiful. Knight on the other side. And just like that, Lyric, the series might be done.
Yeah, I honestly think Top Esports just funneled down mid. You have Baron minions. You have 40 seconds on the Seraphine. You still have ultimates available, too, like Karsa's. You can dive them.
First the inner turret, next the inhibitor turrets. Look at the death timers, ladies and gentlemen. Pop the eyes out, bring the munkers, and look it on. 10 seconds till he respawns. Angel 25, SofM just about 15 as they're running forward. 10 seconds left on this jungler. Top Esports are going to try and do it. First, onto the Nexus turret. The second there with JackeyLove will pop. Bin trying there. The Magnet Storm, a good attempt, but the Buster Shot, even better. JackeyLove jumps on in. Suning, their last resort to stay into playoffs. 369, burst it out. This could be okay, but Suning forgot about JackeyLove into the GA. Angel has now spawned, but Knight is trying to end the game. JackeyLove jumps away, and Suning are gone. Top Esports, top 4. The grudge match from the World Semi-Final is done.
And it's so exciting now. We get to see Top Esports go up against EDG, JackeyLove up against Viper, Knight up against Scout, Flandre and 369. It was such an exciting matchup, and this game, this series honestly was so fun, so close in a lot of areas. Again, you could argue Suning should have started 2-0 up. This could have been a 3-0 for Top Esports. At the end of the day, their team fighting was just so on point. Just mechanically, they were so good finding these angles. This last game, that one cast from 369 that he found onto Huanfeng was absolutely massive and broke this game open, swung this game over to Top Esports, and JackeyLove and Knight capitalized.
Changed the face of the game, and Suning knocked out from there, and quite literally a 3-1 in the end. That was, without a doubt, the most entertaining series. Doesn't matter what you say, you know, call it a fiesta at the start, call it an explosion in Game 3. But that series delivered on very different angles that we didn't know we needed. So it's like watching, you know, Pride and Prejudice. You sit down, you think this is stupid, but at the end you get through it and you say, hey, that was worth the watch.
It definitely was, right? And it definitely feels like TS were the better team, right? Come out with a 3-1. Great to see them move on. We saw some of the glimpses of what, you know, made Suning's run so good. We also saw a lot of the disconnect in the execution of these comps, right? Even in this last game where SofM once again is the member to get picked off. It's so sad to see because in those first two matches of playoffs, he was definitely the MVP player on the side of Suning, but just not able to bring it together today. And even in game 1 and 2, where I felt like Suning like definitely had better drafts in the side of Top Esports, they just weren't able to execute.
And it's a shame when I think SofM we were talking up quite a lot, and you know this was definitely not his day. Like, you know, CS differences in the jungle, but his plays getting caught out, that's what ended the game. There for Suning in Game 4, but also throughout the series, SofM making decision after decision that was pretty uncalled for. You know, like Game 3, especially another good example.
I will say, like, but he had good moments, right? Because there were, like, a lot of his pathing, it's like, okay, he's getting ahead in camps, like, he's kind of, like, maneuvering around Karsa, but then playing against Top Esports is just a whole different beast to playing against any other team in the LPL, in my opinion, because you will have moments like that bottom lane skirmish where it's a 2v4, and for some reason, JackeyLove just flashes forward. Yeah. If you're the enemy team, there's no way, like, certain plays like this are ever going to enter into your mind, and, like, you just need to react in the spur of the moment to what Top Esports throw at you. And that's just one example, but there were a lot of shenanigans throughout this series.
That's a perfect little bubble there, Lyric. You need to react to what Top Esports give you. Sometimes you question bawling at laughter at JackeyLove, and then other times you're like, wow, you're going to make that decision when it could fall on its face. And Top Esports make that decision, but it works out well. So I think a lot of the time when people watch Top Esports, filled with a lot of questions, a lot of anxiety, but like all anxiety, it goes away in the end. And you're right, Top Esports were the better team on the day. They now reach to EDG, and I think this is a fitting end for Suning, right? Look at the gold graph. Look at the fight that they put in the end. Suning have showed us yet again that they're a team that you do not underestimate, no matter where they finish within the regular season.
That's the thing, right? They definitely improved throughout the split. They still have a rookie support. They still have things to improve on, but definitely a commendable performance ahead of them. Finishing top 6 in playoffs is nothing to scoff at. 17 teams in the league, but looking at the damage, the JackeyLove damage is pretty expected. Yep. It's kind of funny that this whole game started with that 2v2 where Zhuo just kind of flopped it, messed up his WQ combo. JackeyLove then flashes in to trade his life for Huanfeng, but actually, again, we highlighted in game, it was the right decision because the wave was pushing into him. So he comes back, he gets a massive wave, he's starting to stack up a lead. TS starts skirmishing around bot side, JackeyLove gets more kills, and then for like 15 minutes, we had 4v4s on the top half of the map, while the two AD carries were left solo, just fighting each other, and JackeyLove getting off a ton of free damage all game. Even earlier in an interview, I think it was from yesterday, I don't know if you saw, but JackeyLove said, you know, my goal is to get off as most damage as possible, because I feel like that's the AD carry's job.
There you go,
So
he did
this man does it every single time.
Yeah, his damage percentage is something like 29% at least, right? And even when he was in IG, it was the same. I mean, we're still getting the explosive JackeyLove AD carry, who is a top 2, top 3 AD carry in the league. He makes big decisions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but most of the time, you know, they're not too bad. So I think this is a great way to end the series, Luke. I was expecting a Game 5, in all honesty. I think that had the chance to go to a Game 5 with some of the fights we were seeing. But as a little send-out for Suning, I think it's nice to package this team as a team that can really punish mistakes and a team that has a very, very good, like, side lane control, right? Like, we talked about waves quite a lot during the playoffs that you and I did, and of course the playoffs with LNG as well was talked about. Suning have a good wave management. I think there's a lot of talking points about this team for summer.
Yeah, I think we saw, again, against LNG and WE, there's a lot of things, especially mid-game, that Suning does a lot better than other teams. I think their vision control, again, how they play around side lanes, how they set up bin. SofM's early game jungle pathing, again, it was much more efficient than Karsa's. Things like this are good foundations and good fundamentals for Suning to build on going into summer. And then it's like, okay, team fighting, going toe-to-toe against the best of the best, the coordination coming in, those are some things we need to see improved.
Yeah, and getting to that, you know, upper echelon, right? Because it's definitely possible. I think On has improved quite a lot, and that was the biggest concern, where Sword Art was a huge voice of the team, and taking that away, that reliability that your team is going to have control, more so that you're going to have leadership within the team, was one of our biggest concerns and why we've rated Suning so low, right? I put them 10th or 11th in the preseason rankings. They finish here as 5th or 5th, 6th, realistically.